I woke up this morning yet again with a burning question and a little nudge to make this video. And the burning question is, why are we actually here? I love to reflect. I'm a Pisces. I don't know if you're into astrology at all. I'm an artist, and I'm very observant and dreamy in nature. And I always think about what is the purpose? What is the whole purpose of it all? This huge thing called life. And I'm just curious to feel it and to experience it and to understand for myself what that means for me, because I realize it means many different things to many people depending where you're from and who you are and how you've been raised and what is the perception, what's the picture in front of you that you have been given by your parents and by the society. And also, having lived in different countries, actually, like lived for many years, I really got a chance to immerse myself in the reality of each country and what is considered normal and what is considered not normal, basically the norms and the values of each country. And it helped me realize how different we all are, even within the society, within that cultural background. uh, and even there are differences, and realizing that at the moment I feel like life is a big stage. In a way, it's a big stage, and our hormones and our hunger and thirst and the need for shelter is driving us to go and make things happen. And then we have the things that we want to achieve because comfort is nice. And we want to achieve because we want to have, things and beautiful stuff. We want to have experiences. We want to have families. Some people don't, some people do. Again, it varies. And also, our dreams vary by what our people around us are doing. Mm, and that really takes me on an inner journey of wanting to understand what are we actually here to do and what am I here to do. Um, and one of the things that I have noticed is if you take away all um, the status and the needs and the wants, uh, we're here. We're just here, we're here. And nobody really has an answer or a precise answer why we're here. We're just existing. We're existing. We are here to enjoy, some people might say. Some people might say we're here to serve. We are here to experience, to go to the next level, and nobody knows what the next level actually is. And since we're here, it's almost like a waiting room. We're just sitting here waiting. And while we're waiting, we get hungry, and then we get thirsty, and then we have our needs. And then one thing builds on top of the other. And here we are, rushing, going places, looking for experiences. Yeah, in a way, just being here, living our life. Uh, it's just interesting to me how it's so different yet similar, and watching many also YouTube videos and having lived in many countries myself, it's most of it is the same, where we all want to eat, we all want to drink, we all want to sleep, we all want to have good clothing and good experiences, and we want to be seen, heard, understood, and loved. And that can come in many varieties, just like people come in many varieties. We have men and women, and then there is fluid people, there is transgender people, there is this and that, but it's always um, the two in between the two, men and women. And all these varieties is just amazing. It's with food as well. You have your fat, you have your carbs, you have your protein, and those three varieties, they vary by country, but then it's the same components, but then the texture, the shape, the taste is different. And at the moment, how I feel, it's like life is a big stage. It's a big stage where I feel that there is a higher power that reigns over us or watches over us. In a way, I the analogy is I'm an ant, and the bigger humongous thing that I don't understand, it's we see it as a human that watches over the ant, is thinking, oh my god, those ants, they have a long way to go. They have a completely different understanding of the world as how we humans see it, and vice versa. And I feel like I'm that ant who is trying to understand the bigger picture. And sometimes I feel like our mentality is just not there. It's not even close to the level where for us to understand what the next step is. Or is there a next step? Is there such thing as reincarnation? Is there such thing as the next phase? Maybe it all ends, maybe it continues. And some people say yes or no, maybe perhaps I've been there, I haven't experienced any of that. And to each their own. And also realizing the fact that we are all different and yet we're very similar is an interesting way to look at life, and also in a way liberating, because everyone has a way of expressing themselves, almost like in clothing. I dress this way, and some people, many people dress differently, so it's all a variety of things. And instead of not instead of judging, I don't like to say that because judging is healthy, but instead of saying yes or no, it can also be celebrated because there's so many varieties of things. And that's a beautiful thing to realize for somebody like me who is an artist. And I deeply feel, I deeply sense, and that's is what allowing me to tune into that frequencies, into all those subtle energies. And some people feel it more, some people feel it less. It doesn't make you better or worse, it just is. And also realizing that things just are is what gives a sense of freedom of expression, and understanding that not everyone is going to like you or dislike you, love you or not love you, and being at terms with yourself in all of this big spectacle that is called life, is what is most important, is loving yourself through it all and growing and understanding for yourself, discerning, like in a way, judging yourself. Oh, I didn't like what I said. Actually, I liked what I said. And loving yourself at the same time, thinking, I don't have to be so hard on myself. So it's like a delicate balance between it all, between uh, letting yourself experience things, learning, and also making yourself push yourself a little bit, but not too much, because then it becomes too much and not too little. So you don't get too mm, passive, and at the same time listening to the laziness or the boredom. Sometimes you need to get bored, you need to get lazy to understand what is it that um, makes you lazy. So there is no answer, if you will. It all depends on your perception of how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? And uh, part of me also thinks that um, yes, I have desires. I have things that I want to have in my life and experiences that I want to have in my life and people that I would like to have in my life. And at the same time, I always say, universe, those are the things that I want and need and would like to have. But is it something that is best for me? Because I almost think like it's all predestined. The main thread is already pre-written, and how I'm gonna get there, that depends. Um, like the journey is already there, and it's just how am I gonna behave myself while I'm getting through that journey? Am I gonna worry? Am I gonna meditate? Am I gonna dance? Am I gonna cry? But the journey continues, and that is basically the my current understanding of this planet. And I'm so curious to hear your perception, your way of thinking, mm, what resonates, what doesn't resonate, what are your thoughts? Um, yeah, I just wanted to have this healthy discussion in a kind way where there is no right or wrong. It's just a view, an opinion of a person, a single person. Let me know. And cheers.